honey. Archaeologists opened a tomb in Egypt sealed for over 3,000 years and found pots of honey inside, and it was still good, still sweet, still edible, sitting in the dark longer than most of what we call history before anyone thought to open it. Call it the eternal sweet, the only food on earth that genuinely never dies, that outlasts everything around it, that will still be honey long after everything else has turned to dust. The reason is chemistry honey has almost no moisture, which means bacteria and mold have nothing to work with, and its natural acidity creates an environment nothing harmful can survive in. Even crystallized honey hasn't gone wrong. Warming it gently brings it back exactly as it was, patient and unchanged. Bees have been making this for 50 million years without knowing they were making something that would outlast every civilization that ever tried to keep it. 3,000 years in a sealed jar. Nothing we make comes close. Salt. Salt is not a food, it is a mineral, the same category as the rock under your feet. And minerals do not expire because expiration requires chemistry that salt simply does not have, which is why it sat in Roman storehouses 2,000 years ago and would taste identical pulled from the ground today. Call it the immortal mineral, so permanent that civilizations used it as currency, so essential that the word salary comes directly from it. Sitting in a shaker on your table, completely taken for granted. Wars were fought over salt. Trade routes were built around it. The ability to preserve food with it was the difference between surviving winter and starving, between armies that could march and ones that couldn't. Today, it costs almost nothing, which is either the greatest success story in food history or the greatest act of ingratitude. It will outlast you, your house, and everything in it. White rice. The US government stockpiles white rice for emergencies because stored properly in a sealed container, it lasts 30 years. The same grain that has fed more human beings across more centuries than any other food in history turns out to have been one of the most permanent things in any kitchen the whole time. Call it the quiet survivor, the most eaten food on earth, and one of the most permanent, always still there when everything else ran out. The reason white rice outlasts brown rice by decades is milling the process that makes it white removes the oils that cause grains to go rancid. Without those oils, oxidation slows to almost nothing, and the rice just waits, patient and stable. Half the world eats this every single day, and most of them have no idea they are eating something that could survive them by 20 years if they sealed it and left it alone. 30 years in a jar and still dinner. Vinegar. Bottles of wine vinegar found in Roman archaeological sites are still chemically intact. The condiment outlasted the empire that made it, which is the kind of fact that makes you look differently at the bottle sitting at the back of your cabinet. Call it the acid that won the food that preserves everything else and needs no preserving itself, quietly permanent in a way nothing around it is. Vinegar is an acid, and acid does not spoil because the very thing that makes it what it is prevents anything harmful from growing inside it. It was one of the first preservatives humans ever used, poured over vegetables and meat to keep them edible through months when nothing fresh was available, medical and essential, before it became a salad dressing. The bottle in your cabinet will likely outlast your interest in cooking. That's just what vinegar does. Everything in your kitchen has an expiration date except these. The milk goes bad, the bread molds, the leftovers have a week at best, but honey, salt, white rice, and vinegar just wait unchanged, completely indifferent to time in a way nothing alive can manage. Leave a comment with the food in your kitchen you've had the longest, because somewhere in a cabinet right now something is waiting that has no intention of going anywhere, because some foods don't expire, they just wait.